Hello everyone, welcome to our first short session on customer needs and expectations. My name is Zahir Siddiqui, and in this session we will be talking about customer service, service encounter, customer expectations, and impact of organizational structure on customer service. Before we start talking about customer service, we need to establish and understand who are our customers and what is their importance for the business. This is very important. I'm sure everyone understands that customers are crucial for any business. No customer means no business. Unfortunately, this basic understanding sometimes get carried away. Some staff members, not all, some, tend to ignore this fundamental rule, and resultantly we start experiencing decline in sales and or increase in bad reviews. So what should we do? Very simple thing. Keep reminding the staff and ensuring that they are practicing three key rules. First of all, the very first thing is discovering customer needs and expectations. So customer walks in to make a purchase. Before selling that product, it is our responsibility to identify what really customer wants. Sometimes due to language barrier, due to any sorts of barriers, customer may not be able to describe what they really want, and we may end up selling them an incorrect product. So it is very important to identify or discover their needs as well as their expectations, that what they are really expecting from that product. Once we have discovered, then we should meet their needs and expectations. It is very important that we should not be selling an unmatched or incorrect product or service to them. We must meet that. Once we have discovered, we have met their customer needs and expectations, then we need to focus on exceeding it. So customer service is not about just discovering and meeting their needs, not about discovering and meeting their expectations. It's more about exceeding their needs and exceeding their expectations. Delivering service in a way that builds rapport and trust with the customers. And we should focus on building durable and valuable customer relationship. We also need to understand customer service also includes maintaining internal systems, maintaining those practices in place, and maintaining relationships to support implementation of customer service strategies. We also need to understand that during a service encounter, the customer will form a judgment based on their personal expectations, perceptions, desires, feelings, needs, wants, and values. So when we are interacting with the customers, we need to be mindful of all of these elements. Based on the quality of the service encounter, customer will be either satisfied or dissatisfied. But if we focus on those three basic rules which we just talked about, we might be able to get a delighted customer. And this is what we should be actually aiming for, a delighted customer. So, just to summarize, what should we do? Identify the customer needs. Identify customer wants. Identify customer expectations. Then we should be right. So when we say customer expectations, what are they? They are customers' vision of a future state or action, usually unstated, but critical to our business success. We also need to keep in mind expectations are not constant. They change over time, and in most cases, becoming more demanding. Customer expectations are usually influenced by their previous experiences and their experiences dealing with the service provider, and particularly competitors. We also need to understand exactly the same product or service may be perceived as being good or poor depending upon the customer expectations. So as a customer, if we are talking about, if we try to generalize those expectations, so what those generalized expectations would be, something like to be taken seriously, competent, efficient service, anticipation of their needs, explanations in their terms, basic courtesies, to be informed of the available options, not to be passed around, to be listened to and heard, dedicated attention, knowledgeable help, friendliness, to be kept informed, follow through, honesty, feedback, professional services, empathy, and respect. When we are delivering that service, when we are talking about customer service, and when it is happening, when we're talking about service encounter, we also need to understand there are always two components into it, two elements into it. First one is human element. Second one is technical element. When we say technical element basically refers to the product. It could be a solution, loan, system, response, resolution, deliverable, or a result, or whatever you are providing to your customer. Whatever form the product takes, customers want it to work properly to meet their needs. This is the technical element of service, and you will not have happy customers without it, that's for sure. But excelling in the technical element alone may not keep customers coming back unless you also excel in the process. While on the other side, the human element refers to the process. Something like how customers feel they have been treated. Not how customers are treated. It's more about how they feel they have been treated. This is the human element of service, which is exceedingly important in achieving a high level of customer satisfaction. In fact, for many customers, the process is more important than the product. At every stage in the customer relationship with your organization or in the buying process, customers have a different set of expectations. The first bit comes in at the pre-purchase stage, when customers are still in doubt on whether to establish a relationship with your organization. It is our responsibility to discover, to find out what would their expectations be at that stage. Second one is during the customer service encounter, when they are in the process of using your services. Again, it's our responsibility to find out what would their expectations be during that process. Third one, after the service has been accessed, what would be their expectations? Having said that, this is our responsibility to do so. So when we talk about the first bit, which is prior to purchase, we need to learn what customers expect. We need to ask employees as well as the customers. Tell customers what to expect. Consistently provide the service according to their expectations. During service encounter, communicate with customers properly and honestly. Modify, where possible, modify the service to meet customer expectations, or explain why service cannot be modified. After the purchase, communicate if the expectations were met. Check with them if they are happy. Follow up on customers to get their views. Develop a procedure for dealing with dissatisfied customers. Very important. Last section is about organizational structure. You may or may not have noticed. In some organizations, they have very simplified organizational structure. And in some organizations, unfortunately, they have very complex structure. What does that mean? For example, if I am a customer and I am ringing a utility company to complain about something, and I am unhappy about something, and the customer service representative says that, oh, unfortunately, I cannot really help, but I can check that who can assist you with your inquiry. Okay. So they put me on hold for maybe 2 minutes. During that time, the customer service representative is struggling to find out that who can resolve that problem. Checks with the supervisor. Supervisor says, oh, no, this one is beyond my control, beyond my authorities. So let's talk to the manager. Talk to the manager. Manager says, no, unfortunately, I cannot do that. Let's talk to another person. So you are spending time, minutes and seconds and over in a circle, and you're not really getting it. You come back to me in a few minutes time and you say that unfortunately I'm unable to assist at this stage because the relevant person is not available. As a customer, I will be frustrated. I can't really say that I had good experience with my service provider. So what we should aim for? Delegation. We should aim for something which is very simplified. Most organizations usually aim to get that one call resolution. Customer rings, the person who is taking the call is able to resolve 99% issues without any interruption and without involving anyone else. It comes back to providing them full training, full support, more authority, more delegation. I believe for today, this is enough for this particular short session. Just to recap that what we have discussed so far, we had a quick look on customer service. We talked about service encounter in brief. Then we also highlighted that what are customer expectations and why we need to cater for them. And then we but on very base level, we touch based on this organizational structures influence on customer service. Thank you very much for listening and hope to see you in our next video. Thanks again.